Good morning, class. I've had a couple of questions about how this course is organized and what sort of assignments you're supposed to upload. So I'm going to do my best to explain things for you. First, I really want you to watch the entire video, okay? Please watch everything I'm discussing. Hopefully what I say will help you. Okay, second, the most important component of this class is the second page of the syllabus. Note, this is a self-paced course, so that means you can turn in assignments when you want to, but all assignments must be in on the 15th of April. Okay, so everything is due on the 15th of April. But remember, this is a self-paced course. I will not be taking off late points for your assignments. All right, so let's take a look at the course schedule. Note, you will be writing 3 essays in this course. That includes a research paper. All right. You will also have 2 exams in this course, and you will have several discussion forums to complete. So some of you have not completed the week 1 assignments, so you need to complete that as soon as possible. So first, make sure to read your novel. Second, for the first week, you need to you need to post to the week 1 discussion forums. You need to make sure to take the plagiarism quiz, and then you need to post to the week 1 discussion forum as well. This is the introduction, and this is the one based on one short story. So let's go through it. All right, so we're going to go to the lessons. We're going to click on research paper, and then we're going to click on research paper guidelines. We want to do that the first week so we kind of have an idea of what will be due for the research paper. So the expectation is that you'll be finding sources and that you'll be writing a 7 to 10 page research paper. Now what what novels can you read? Well, if you click on the announcements, I just loaded 3 Audible versions of the books. But if you scroll down your announcements, you will see the 3 books that you can choose from. There's Heart of a Darkness by Joseph Conrad, Notes from the Underground, and Madame Bovary. Now, briefly, Heart of Darkness is a shorter novel, but it's very symbolic, and in some ways it's a little hard to understand, as well as Notes from the Underground. It's a little hard to understand. They're both kind of philosophical. Heart of Darkness discusses the Belgium invasion of the Congo and the treatment of the Congolese by the Belgians, as told through one narrator. Notes from the Underground is a somewhat philosophical novel about a man's experiences and his viewpoints of the meaning of life. Madame Bovary is easier to understand, but it's a little bit longer. It's about a woman who's living in a fantasy world and basically destroys her life through this longing for this, beautiful romance. So basically, those are the 3 novels that you'll be reading in this course. So week 1, although we're over with week 1, I do want you to begin the novels. If you prefer to listen to them, here are the Audible versions of the novels. During week 1, you should also have taken, let's click on Start here. You should have also taken the plagiarism quiz. So all you have to do is you scroll down, you should have read everything here, and then click on the Scholastic Honesty Statement and take this plagiarism quiz. All right? Also for week 1, you're clicking on discussion boards, right? You need to complete the introduction, and you need to complete the week 1 discussion. You will be focusing on just one assigned short story for the week 1 discussion. All right? That is what you have due for week 1. Now, the discussion forums, the short stories are located here. Click on Lesson 2, scroll down, click on Learning Activities, and here are the short stories. My expectation is that you'll be reading all the short stories for this course. But for week 1, you only need to discuss one short story. Okay? So I'm going to briefly review what I want you to do, or what I wanted you to do for week 1. Okay, you post your introduction. You complete the plagiarism quiz. You begin your novels. And remember, it's Notes from the Underground or Madame Bovary or Heart of Darkness. Okay? And then you have 2 discussion forums. Your introduction, which of course most of you have done, and your week 1 discussion where you discuss one short story. Right? That's week 1. Week 2, you have the following. You continue the short story lesson. You continue reading your novel, and then you post to the week 2 discussion forum. So remember, the novels are Madame Bovary or Heart of Darkness or Notes from the Underground. You click on lessons. Then you also click on analyzing short stories. I want you to make sure that you read all of these short stories. And then for the discussion forum, again, you are only focusing on one short story. But here's the kicker. You're not allowed to focus on the same short story that you used for week 1. And I didn't mention this, but all of your discussion forums are at least 150 words, and your replies are at least 100 words. Okay? So, for week 2, what do we have to do? We continue our novel. We continue completing the short stories. And then we complete the week 2 discussion forums. All right, that's week 2. Now week 3. Go to the syllabus, page 2 again. Go to the week 3 chart. Okay, so now it's getting a little more complicated. You're going to begin week 3, which is analyzing novels, okay? Based on the same novel that you're doing your research paper on. Then you begin the assigned readings that are in lesson 3. Then you have a short story analysis due. That is uploaded through lesson 2. And then you're going to post to the week 3 discussion board. Okay? The difficulty in this class is that you're kind of working on all 3 lessons at the same time. All right? So that might be part of the confusion. But let's go through it. So remember, this is week 3. All right. So we're beginning lesson 3. We're beginning the readings within lesson 3. Then you have an essay due, and then you have a week 3 discussion board due. All right? So let's click on lesson 3. So you're starting lesson 3, and this isn't like a super hard lesson. You're just basically reading through this lesson, and you're continuing reading that novel. But also, you have a discussion board due. So the discussion board for lesson 3 is based upon one of those 3 novels, Heart of Darkness, Notes from the Underground, or Madame Bovary. All right? You're focusing on a character in one of those 3 novels. It might seem like you have a lot of reading, but remember, week 1, you should have started your novel. So you're on week 3 now, so you should have a good portion of that novel done. So you're just basically discussing the novel. All right? Then you have a short story assignment due. So you go to lessons, you click on analyzing short stories. To get the short story short story link, you need to fill out your BioSig ID. All right? You get to the BioSig ID by clicking on BioSig ID enrollment. Then here are the directions for that short story essay due week 3. You're writing one essay on one short story that is going to be 750 to 1,000 words. You're going to use a single literary device from the learning activities in the folder. Okay, and you're going to use one short stories to show this literary device. So let's look at the learning activities. Where are the literary devices? Well, if you go here, there are some fictional terms. All right, I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to pull it up. Okay. It's taking a little while because my computer is slow. So basically, you're using one of these terms to write an essay on, but I'm also going to upload a video that explains how to write a short story essay. So let's look at this glossary, all right? You have a number of literary terms that you can use in your essay, right? And this document goes through each of those literary terms. You choose one. You use that literary term to discuss the novel and interpret the novel, all right? So let's go back. Let's see if we can get to it. Okay. I'm going to go back to the lessons because it's back. That's the learning activities. So let's go back here. And remember, you're writing using one of those single literary devices or vocabulary terms to interpret the story. So you need to include an outline. I don't care what the outline looks like, but let's click on this. It's going to show you a basic outline, all right? But I don't care what the outline looks like. I just want you to include the outline in your discussion. Then you use MLA format, and this explains what MLA format looks like, but I also will upload a video that shows you how to do it. Then you're going to cite your short story. This gives you some information about how to cite a short story. But again, make sure to include just your short story. You don't need to include any research in this short story essay. All right. So let's go back to syllabus page 2 to review what we have due for week 3. We have a beginning reading of lesson 3. You're reading the assigned readings within lesson 3. So I want you to also read the lesson. You have one short story due that you're uploading in lesson 2. And then you have that week 3 discussion forum that I discussed. All right. So now I am going to I'll keep going because now actually we are at week 4. All right, so this week we're actually halfway through the course. I still haven't seen a lot of work from you guys, so I would really like to see some additional assignments turned in. But like I said, in this course it's self-paced, so I'm not taking off any points for late work. Okay, so last week, or as soon as you possibly can, you should be continuing to read your novel. You need to start the assigned readings for lesson 3. You need to start your short story analysis and upload it through lesson 2. And then you should be completing the week 3 discussion forum. Now we're at week 4. Okay, so we have yet another essay due. It's the novel analysis, but when I explain it to you, you're going to realize that it's a pretty easy essay. Then I want you to begin lesson 4, which discusses poetry. Then I want your research outline and thesis statement due. That discusses your novel. And then I want you to upload that through the research paper lesson. And then you have a discussion forum due, the week 4 poetry discussion forum. This one is graded. It is 5 points. All right. So let's go through all of that. It's a lot of work. I totally understand it. That's the problem with 8-week courses. You are throwing a lot of assignments all at once. But let's go ahead and go to the novel lesson. All right, so you should have read through it during week 3, this one and this chapter as well. And then note this, okay? You have a 750 to 1,000 word essay. Basically, what you're doing with this essay is you are giving me the plot of your novel. I know that seems silly, but that's exactly what is due. However, it's a little bit different. You're not just giving me the plot. you're using the Freytag pyramid to explain the plot to me. So with every single one of the novels, you have an exposition, you have rising action, you have a climax, you have a falling action, and you have a resolution. So what I want you to do is basically give me the exposition, what is the introduction to your novel, the background, the setting, and all that. Then I want you to tell me all of the action that comes before the climax. So all of the action that kind of brings in the conflict, what are the issues within the novel, and then your climax is the pinnacle point of the novel where all the action comes to a head and all the craziness occurs. And then after the climax, where all the craziness comes to fruition and basically ends, then you go into the falling action, what happens after the climax, and the resolution is basically the end of the novel. So that is what your novel analysis is, okay? You can give me an introduction, like a regular essay introduction. Then you're going to give me a thesis statement, which is your topic plus point. It's basically this novel, about the Freytag pyramid. It doesn't have to be a real meaningful thesis. It can be this novel follows the Freytag pyramid in terms of whatever, or you can just simply say Madame Bovary follows the Freytag pyramid, or the below essay will discuss the components of the Freytag pyramid as seen in whatever novel. Okay, this particular essay is meant to be pretty easy. All right, so that's what you have due this week, week 4. Then you want to also, and this is where sometimes students get confused, okay? You have a short story essay, which you have turned in already. Then you have a novel analysis essay, which basically tells me the plot of the novel, which is due during week 4. But after that, you have a research paper, which is also due on the same novel, and that is due at the end of the course. Okay, this is your big research project. So during week 4, you have your novel analysis due, but you also have a thesis statement and outline that you have due for your research paper, which is also based on the novel. Don't freak out about the thesis and the outline. For me, it is completion only. You will get these 10 points if you complete this assignment. Okay? The thesis statement needs to be about the novel. The outline can be just what you think you might discuss in the novel, about the novel, but it is completion only. Pass, fail. I'm not going to grade this harshly. It is literally just making sure you're moving along with that research paper. When you turn this assignment in, I'm going to give you feedback about where I think you're going with this research paper, but I'm not going to be harsh. I basically want you to turn this in so I will help you. All right? So that is due also during week 4. All right? So then you have one more thing. You have to start your poetry lesson, and that is lesson 4. All right? So let's look at the learning activities. I want you to read through the poems. Here's a trick. I don't expect you to read all these poems. I expect you to read enough of these poems to get a feel for what poetry is like. I definitely want you to go through the vocabulary terms. That's really important. You need to understand all of these vocabulary terms in order to do well on the midterm. But I am not expecting you to memorize all these poems. All right? So if you're listening to me still, you're going to be glad you've listened to me, because I'm literally telling you, you don't have to read all the poems, but you do need to know the vocabulary terms. You will have to read the poems in order to complete the discussion forum, but let's look at the week 4 discussion forums. You only need to discuss the significance of word order in one of the poems. Not all of them, one of the poems. Again, it's the same assignment that has been for all the week 4 discussions. And then when you write your response, you need to make it clear that you've read your classmate's chosen poem as well. So don't just say, oh, nice post, I really like it. You actually have to discuss that poem as well. All right, so let's go back to the syllabus. Week 4. Whoop, that's week 6. Week 4, you're handing in your novel analysis. You're beginning your poetry interpretation. You're uploading your outline and your thesis about your research paper, and then you're posting to the week 4 poetry discussion forum. So this is where you should be right now, actually, because look, it's the 13th of March, and you have all of this due. So really, technically, we're at the midpoint of the course, so you really need to get some things done. I hope this video has helped you because I know some of you are confused. Next week, I'm going to post a video about week 5, and so that should give you some understanding of what is due during week 5. Note, though, you have a whole nother week to get assignments done, all right? And I will continue to accept assignments during spring break, and also want to make it clear that this is a self-paced course, so I don't take off for late work, but you really do need to get started, okay? I hope this helps you. Again, if you have questions, please let me know, but I hope all of you have listened to the ending of this video before you ask me questions, because I don't mind repeating myself, but I'm really glad you stuck it with me this far in terms of the video, because I think many of your questions have been answered here. Anyway, hope all of you have a great week. And again, I'm online all the time, so I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Have a great week, everyone.